So April, how long have you been doing hair?
I've been doing hair since 2013, so I guess a little over a decade now.
Wow.
Now that I say it out loud, it seems like like oh my God, that was a long time. But
Well,
yes, I've been in the industry for a while.
so over the last decade, you have done lots of heads, you have
Yes,
learned lots of different skills.
yes.
What would you say is your biggest change that you see in the industry from when you started back in 2013 until now?
The biggest change I have seen from when I started in 2013, I would say, oh man, that's a great question. I would just say the transition of people accepting themselves more naturally. I feel back then there was a heavy focus on superficialness, right? So you saw, a ton of wigs, a ton of extensions. You saw, the relaxers. You saw all of those things. But I've just seen just over time, people are going more towards their natural vibe. If they do wear their natural hair, they may add extensions just for accents, but not necessarily just to cover their complete hair. So I just feel like they're embracing more of their natural appearance. And I'm okay with
People are
it.
embracing their black hair, their
Yes,
curls. They're
yes,
not feeling like they need to hide it in society. It
that's
is
exactly
becoming
right.
more accepted. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I feel like society is more accepting of who we are, but not only is society more accepting, we're just being more unapologetic about it. We are being more comfortable. We're like, listen, if you want my expertise, if you want me to work in this space, then you have to take me as I am. This is how I feel comfortable. And as an image consultant, I know when someone feels comfortable in their personal image, then their work performance goes that much higher. They carry themselves with much more confidence. So now, our black women, our beautiful black women, are going into these spaces saying, "Accept me as I am," and I like that. I love that for us.
I love that too. And
Yes.
you can really see that through media. You can see that through even corporate America. People
Yes.
really embracing it. And like I like what you said, unapologetically
Yes.
saying, "Take me as I am."
Yeah. And
I know that as a stylist, as a master cosmetologist, you have worked with several different types of products. Hair relaxers are a big product in black hair care.
yes.
Can you talk to me about just how often relaxers are used on your clients or even on just industry wide? Is it common and is it starting to get phased out at all?
Okay. So relaxers in in our world of relaxers, just given the history of our upbringing, right? We grew up seeing our grandmothers use relaxers. We grew up seeing our mothers use relaxers. And then just naturally, we start to use relaxers. And it's just being passed down from generation to generation. And we use it at least once a month, every 4 weeks. Some people want to stretch it a little bit longer, but the normal cadence of the way relaxers had to be applied was every 4 weeks. That's when your new growth grows back in. And so once that little bit of curl come back in, you're going back to get it again. These days, I don't use relaxers anymore. I don't provide the service to my clients either. It's not an option. And that's just because of all of the medical concerns that has come up, over the years from, different researches. People are coming forward saying that, they had certain cancers or diseases and illnesses, based on that specific product. And so I do know that our women have been marketed to, by the companies that's making the relaxers, but also just certain hair products that contains parabens, that contains things that just aren't healthy for us and that disrupt our hormonal balance.
When did you make the decision that you were not going to use relaxers in your shop anymore?
Okay, just last year, I made the decision. What's alarming to me is that I've read a ton of researches, and heard about a million different cases, but there's no big alarm going about it within the salon space. And so for even though for years I've been reading this, I still kind of dabbled in it because we need it, right? Like we feel like we need it in order for us to wear certain styles, in order for us to work out, in order for us to do all of these things. Like we feel like we need that in order to keep a professional, appearance. And so, I I made the decision. I made a conscious decision last year that I didn't want to use hair relaxers on my clients anymore, based on these different researches, based on the different claims that have come forward. Just last year, I did.
And what is the talk about relaxers in the hair care industry and among your fellow stylists here in Atlanta?
Yeah. So the talk is relaxers are causing cancer. They are related to cancer. The talk is they are related to illnesses, and these are endocrine based cancers, illnesses and diseases. And it research shows, so the National Institute of Health did a research, and it showed that our women are using these. If you use these products more than 4 or 5 times a year, you are twice as likely to develop uterine cancer just from using those products. Those products contain ingredients like formaldehyde, lye, parabens, and these are all known carcinogens that have been proven to cause cancer over time. And what they are doing is mimicking estrogen in your body and causing an imbalance. And so you're gonna, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what the outcome could be, but we don't know that. I feel like industry people, and also just the consumers, they hear talk about it, but they don't know exactly, what this conversation is about. All we know is causing cancer. So, and we don't know the background of why it's causing it. And so that's why I wanted to put out there, it's the ingredients that's in it. And with prolonged use over time, it definitely raises your percentage of getting cancer or some sort of disease or illness relating to your hormonal system. And so that's what the issue is related. And we know that we have used those products for years and years and years, at least once a month, and so that's what it is, and
Starting
so
at 4 years old.
exactly,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so same, I started doing it on myself, on my own,
Yep.
not knowing what we were doing. I started, even though I've been in the industry for 10 years, I've been playing and dabbling in hair as far as I can remember as a kid. And I would do it on my cousins. Some people even do it more often than just monthly, maybe every 2 weeks, just for their hairline. And so, I have been, as a hairstylist, I have been directing my natural hair clients more towards a safer option, which I have found to be keratin treatments, protein-based treatments, amino acid treatments. And so they are definitely a little more costly. They also, they last a little bit longer than relaxers. So relaxers, you get a good 2 to 4 weeks out of it before you feel like you have to do something else again. Keratin treatments, protein treatments, you can stretch it. I won't allow my clients to do any sooner than 3 months. So some people are getting it quarterly. Some people are getting it twice a year, depending on their hair texture. Some people are getting it once just before going into the summer with, high humidity and so things like that. So we have been, I've been kind of experimenting with different options for my clients, and they absolutely love it. I've been using a keratin treatment for the last 5 years now,
Wow.
and I haven't had any issues with breakage. As a matter of fact, my hair has gotten stronger and longer. And so, yeah, so I have found that to be a great alternative. However, it's an alternative. It's not the same as a relaxer. Right? So with relaxers, we are slick. We can go to sleep without tying our hair down and wake up in the morning and it's fine. However, with the keratin and the protein treatments, it helps you manage your natural hair texture.
So it's not
It doesn't-
necessarily changing the
It's
texture.
not changing the texture.
Yeah.
It's just relaxing your pattern just enough to make it more manageable.
Now with the keratin, because I know a big part of relaxers and at-home relaxers are what, you go to the store, you get your box,
Yes.
you open it up, put the stuff in,
Yes.
put it on. Like you said, we were doing it as ourselves
Yes,
as kids.
at 10.
At 10 or even 11, right?
Yes.
The keratin treatments, is that something that you can solely, you have to have that done professionally?
You would want to have it done professionally, right? It's a tedious process. It takes about 3 hours, and so that's something that you would want to go and allow a professional to do, because we have been trained on the process and how long you let it sit, what temperature the flat iron should be on when we're actually flat iron, because it's heat activated. And so there are a lot of different moving parts. So you definitely want to be a trained professional. Now, I have heard some clients say that, oh, I heard about keratin a few years ago, and my hairstylist back then said it was going to break my hair off. Well, technology has changed, right? When keratin treatments first came out, they had formaldehyde, and some keratin treatments still have formaldehyde. But just like the product lines that's out today, you have products that have parabens, but then you have products that are sulfate and paraben free. And so you want to think of the keratin as, you want to find someone who is providing that cleaner version of the keratin treatment. And so that's formaldehyde free, and it's using amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of keratin and protein. And so what you're doing is filling your hair with those good things. You're breaking the bonds of your hair, but temporarily, but you're filling your hair with good things that's going to allow it to strengthen, that's going to allow it to grow a little bit longer. And by strengthening it, getting your proper trims, that's what allow your hair to grow longer. It's not the product itself that's like stimulating something in your scalp. Yeah. So I want to make that clear. As a hairstylist, we have to be very thorough in what we're saying, because to manage expectations.
Do you ever have people come in to the salon asking to see the labels or ingredients?
No.
Or do people generally just put their trust in what you're giving them?
Generally, they just put their trust into what I'm giving them. And if I'm being frank, our culture we don't really ask questions about the ingredients in the products. And I want to encourage us to do that. When you are going to see your stylist, or you're going to see your esthetician, or whatever it is that you're putting into your body or on your skin, ask about the ingredients. And if you don't understand it, you can go to the EWG website to look up the ingredients and see exactly what it is, to see if it's a known carcinogen, or if it has, any, bad things in it. So for the most part, to answer your question, no, most people don't ask about the ingredients, and I would like to encourage you to do that.
And if you could, I'd love for you to dive in a little bit just on the culture of why we relax. I know you touched on it a little bit, but just growing up as a little girl, coming through this industry,
Yes.
Why is that culture there?
That culture is there because for so long we were shamed, right, about how our hair looks, right? Growing up and as an African American culture being integrated into corporate jobs, we wanted to apply for certain roles. We wanted to elevate ourselves. And in order for us to be hired for a certain position, we had to look a certain way. And that started, way, back in the day with our grandmothers and our great grandmothers. So like I stated before, I grew up seeing my grandmother, my mom, I did it. My nieces and nephews, they see me do it. And so I just feel like over time it's just passed down through the generations. And so, and then we don't ask questions, right? We've always seen it. We've always known this is what we do to our hair to make it look good. And so we just do it. It's just a part of, it's second nature, to us in our culture. And, it's unfortunate that, these products were marketed to us as a way for us to manage our curls and for us to have a sleeker look and sleeker appearance if that's what we choose to do, but has all of these harmful, side effects and known carcinogens inside of the product. And that goes for not just the relaxers. I want to stress that these are for our products as well. A lot of the products that are in the beauty supply stores have the parabens and the sulfates and things that stripping your hair and things that are, mimicking your estrogen in your body. So I just want to encourage us to do our research and to ask questions. And let's not get stuck in the rhythm of like, this is just what we've always done. Be open to exploring other opportunities or other things that could be maybe not exactly like a relaxer, right? Because there is a gap in the market for that. Isn't anything that is safe that directly compares to the relaxer, but we can get very, very close with tailor treatment.